Hey, what's up, Bootstrappers? It is Friday, and that means it is Flashcard Friday. So we're going to come at you with another flashcard from, of course, the Bootstrap deck here. So if you don't have your cards already, guys, go ahead and get a copy of the Bootstrap flashcard deck here. So, because you're only one deal away from changing your entire financial future. That's how it starts, man. So we are going to go ahead and jump into this one with our next card of the deck. And it is the Jack of Hearts. Da-da-da. Future pace, current pain. All right, so what does that mean? Well, let's go ahead and read it to you real quick. Future pace, current pain is the Jack of Hearts. Example, a landlord has a tenant not paying rent. If you don't fix this and it continues for another 4 to 6 months, how much will that end up costing you? So you want to let them answer that. And then you say, well, that's only the financial costs, not to mention any mental, emotional ones that are involved as well. So I use this a lot with some distressed sellers. Actually, just today I was looking at a house, and the lady had, she had a tenant. It was a military family. They moved out early. They broke the lease basically, and well, she wanted them out too because she said they had 5 boys that were just destroying the house. And you know, it doesn't have that necessarily have to be with, you know, because they're a military family. They happen to be a military family, and they're 5 crazy active boys that were destroying the house. It could have been anyone's kids that were destroying the house, but she wanted them out. And so they moved out. And so the house had been vacant since April. She put a lot of money into getting it repaired up and to market the house. And then she goes on vacation. And so she goes on vacation. She says, I've been to Denmark. I've been to Mexico. I've been to all these other places. And so I haven't really been able to focus on my house here. And that's why it has been sitting. So she's making excuses for why the house has been sitting on the market. And then almost within like the same conversation, the same breath, she says, well, you know, I've neglected my house at home because I have a huge ranch and a yard, and I'm getting older and I can't get to my yard because, you know, my house is looking kind of bad where I live because I've been focusing on my time and attention on this property here. And so she's like, I would really like to just get rid of this property. So a guy offered her, she's asking $268 for it and $268.5, and he offered her $245. I'm like, all right, man, it's not that far off the mark, and she's willing to work with realtors and things like that. So I'm like, you know, you're not too far away from this guy. Why don't you just go ahead and, you know, sell to him? She's like, well, I would go to 260, but no more. I'm like, okay, so because honestly, you know, at 268, she probably going to be about 265 if she goes with a realtor. I was like, why not just go to 265? So anyway. Long story to get to where we get to the point where I'm now future pacing her current pain. Because what I offered her was, I said, look, you know what? It sounds like you have the deal done. It's all wrapped up. Why don't you just go ahead and, you know, settle this guy, cut your losses, and move forward so that way you can take care of your house? And she's like, I can never sell it for that less. I'm like, okay. So in her mind, there's this emotional and this mental and financial barrier. You know, this floor that she's not willing to go beneath. So I said, well, tell you what, I'll offer you full asking price for your house. I'll give you the $268.5. All I ask is that you give me 2 years. And she's like, well, what do you mean? I said, I'm looking for a lease with an option to purchase on this property. And she's like, well, if you give me a substantial down. I said, well, what does that look like to you? She's like, I don't know, about 5%. So it's about $13,000, which that's fine. And you perform on it. I'm okay doing that. And she's like, but I need to think about it, you know? So I said, okay, fine. So this is where the future pacing of her current pain comes in, because the house has been sitting vacant. She's had to come over and mow the lawn. She said she was there last week blowing the leaves because now this, you know, the weather hasn't quite changed, but she has some trees in the back that are like dropping all kinds of crazy stuff. And she was complaining about that. Like, I was just over here. I just blew this for my open house, and now it's happening again. And then she had to, they had an open house, and there was no furniture inside, so she dragged a lawn chair. And so I asked her, I said, how come you have, you know, lawn furniture in the dining room area? She's like, oh, we had some people that were here looking at the house, and there's nowhere to sit. And my friend wants me to stage the house, but I don't think I should stage it because this is a starter home, and you don't stage starter homes. And she's going to all these things. So I have all this current pain that she's talked about. And so what I said to her was, I said, well, you know, if you decided to sell the property to me with the lease with an option to purchase, I'd be taking care of the property. You wouldn't have to come over here and mow and cut the grass every single week. You wouldn't have to come over here and blow the place, you know, with the leaf blower to get, you know, make it look nice before someone comes and shows it. Oh, in fact, get this. She Couldn't find her keys. She's like, I don't know where my keys are at. I can't let you in. She has a lockbox. She's like, well, I have a lockbox. I'll go find it. So we go inside the house, and then we go through the entire house, and we go to the garage. And she goes, oh, this is crazy. The garage door is unlocked. I don't know who. Maybe the realtor did that because she gave the lockbox code to a realtor. We go in the garage, and guess what? Her keys were in the door. And so several times in the conversation, she's like, I'm getting old. I'm getting really old. You don't ever want to get old. And so she's kind of self-deprecating, but the keys were left in the door. I mean, if anyone were like, gosh, I don't even know. I don't even want to speculate. So I use that as well when I'm future painting. I'm like, look, you don't have to drive over here. You don't have to forget the keys. If you lock the place up or not, or where the keys are at. Kind of psyching yourself out. All these things I'm future pacing that she won't have to do anymore. So basically what you're doing is when you're future pacing the pain, you're also at the same time taking it away, because your solution is going to eliminate that imaginary pain that you're creating for them. So I said to her, look, you know what? We can do this. You won't have to come out here and drive and mow the lawn. You won't have to come out here and blow the grass or the leaves every time this happens. You don't have to come out here and worry, did I leave my keys here? What happened? When you go back and check out the house? You won't have to deal with all of these people calling, these looky-loos, these guys trying to lowball you on price. You don't have to deal with all these realtors, begging you to list the property. You don't have to worry about the house being vandalized because it's been vacant for so long. All these things are going to be eliminated if you allow me to rent the property. You've rented it before. It's been a rental for a number of years for you. Let's just go ahead and, let me do a lease with an option to purchase. I'll go ahead and get this thing moved for you. So that's how you use future pace the current pain with the person. I did that with her, and I didn't get a contract. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, it was amazing. She immediately, bent over backwards and gave me the contract to sign. It didn't happen. She says, let me think about it over the weekend. Give me a call back on Monday or Tuesday, and we'll go from there. And I said, tell you what, I'll give you the entire rest of next week as well, because it sounds like you have some guys that are kind of close. They might buy it from you. You might come down on your price. So again, she said she's never going to go down past that price, but I said, you know what? I'm pushing her in a direction that she said she wouldn't want to go. So you might come down on your price. You might just go ahead and concede and accept this guy's low ball offer. Again, her words, not mine. And no, I'm not going to do that. So again, I'm steering her in the direction that I want her to go. So we'll see what happens on that one. But that's how exactly I would use this Jack of Hearts, future pace, current pain. Now, if you don't have this deck, go on over to Bootstrap Rei.com/flashcards. Pick these things up. All you do is you just practice 5 minutes a day. You got a whole deck here. It's dedicated to buyer objections, seller objections, some common math that we use as investors, and some marketing lead generation strategies and tips that we use. All of this is there. Go ahead and do it. It is a great, great opportunity for you. And like I said, 5 minutes a day is all it takes. With 5 minutes of practice, just going through 1 or 2 cards a day, you're going to become a master at learning some of these techniques to use when talking to motivated sellers and or buyers that are looking for properties that you have that you are looking to sell or finance in any particular way. All right, guys, I'm Ryan Nickel, and remember, you are just one deal away from changing your entire financial future. Now head on over to bootstraprei.com/flashcards and get your set today.